taking flight. August 23, 2014. These past 2 nights, I've spent in the company of 3 men, actually 3 male Pleiadians, men of my own family. They are 2 archangels and an angelic Pleiadian who is also my own mate. While I have drifted into and out of heavy sleep, these loving beings have worked with my energies, adjusting my frequencies, accelerating the transition that I am currently undergoing. When I pause and turn within, I can feel their tremendous love for me echoing in the growing heart flame within the heart chakra. I can easily drop into an almost permanent state of meditative awareness now as the frequency levels increase incrementally. About 2 weeks ago, I began to become aware that I and my mate have already begun a new mission together. After a suitable period of readjustment, visiting of friends and relatives, we will go into the silence, together. As Eliza, I do not know all the details, but to the Pleiadians, going into the silence indicates that the mated pair are committed to 2 years of meditation with the incoming soul of the one who will be their child. In our case, this will be a very special child, one who is destined to be a teacher for the new earth. In his DNA, he will carry both the genes of the angelic Pleiadian and the cosmic Phoenician. He will have the intelligence and beauty of both of his parents, the great love of his grandmothers and the dedication and compassion of his grandfathers. Our young one is calling to us, so my reblending process is accelerating. I do not feel that I as Eliza's awareness and light focus, will be much longer here. Yet, it is with great joy that I share my upcoming mission with those who have little ones of their own. I have not had a child in this lifetime. Nor have any of my children survived to adulthood in my 2 previous lifetimes as Joseph and the World War II pilot. Consequently, I have little to keep me anchored here. I feel like my wings are spreading as I reach for the winds of heaven to lift me into full flight. The children who are arriving upon the earth today have a special destiny, which will be shared with those of their galactic lineage. My son will be one of these, although he will not be born upon this earth, but in the safety of our Pleiadian home. Pleiadian mothers are highly honored. Not all Pleiadian women choose to have children. Those women who go into the Force, as the Galactic Federation of Light is called, do not have children. Having a child is regarded as a high honor and takes much thought and preparation. Together, along with the soul of the child, the parents meditate and work together to create the body of the child through the conscious act of creation, cell by cell. The body is created according to the needs of the incoming child's chosen purpose in the new life. Our son is a soul that we already know from past lives. He is a soulmate of great light who has chosen us as his parents to be. We feel highly honored. Consequently, my Pleiadian and Venetian families are doing all they can to assist in our preparations too. My mate is very anxious that I come home, soon. He did not wish for me to take this last walk-in assignment. He knew it would be a difficult life for me, given the transitional period that we were about to enter during the post-war period and into the coming of the millennium, and beyond. Yet I feel that I have completed what I came here to do. Along with the last 2 or so years of writing this blog and reaching some people with these teachings, I have also just accomplished the successful gathering in of the remaining soul fragments of Chief Joseph, Hinmatu Yalakhet, or Thunder traveling to the loftier heights of the mountains. And there was the great clearing done for all of his people and the soldiers who hunted and hounded the small band of survivors through the harsh winter months of their historic flight of 1,500 miles in the year 1877. It was for this last purpose, I now realize, that I have been living here in the ancient lands of the Walla Walla Indians. It was near here where once a treaty was negotiated that would forever begin the inevitable changes leading to the loss of the native lands to the encroachments of the white settlers and miners. Hinmatu Yalakhet, as a young man, rode through these same hills and valleys that I have traveled in my car. I have camped in the canyons where his people hunted. I have walked on trails that were once traveled on by the Nez Perce people. I have stood near the spot where old Joseph is buried. I have stared up at the towering Wallowa Mountains and watched the hawks circling through the skies. I have heard the thunder rumbling against the canyon walls, echoing the name of the one who was me in another life. In the 6 years that I have lived here, I have spent time in the mountains and valleys so loved by Joseph and his people, the Wallowa Band of the Nez Perce or Nimipu, as this intelligent, handsome and resourceful people called themselves. I have come to love the land as Joseph's did and to see that he spoke with wisdom, when he said that white settlers would experience great difficulty in living with the lands that his people treasured. Even now, the small cities of Wallowa, Lastine and Joseph, struggle to survive, living off the seasonal bounty gained by appealing to tourists, supporting the shrinking resources of the national forest stations, and small service-oriented businesses. Where the native peoples found abundance, the descendants of the settlers who pushed the Nez Perce out of their traditional lands, are now finding it difficult to make a subsistence living there on those green lands. The climate of the Wallowa Valley is quite harsh in the winter months, the summers and growing season short. The Nez Perce, consequently, moved their winter camps into the sheltered creek valleys and canyons, snug, in their long houses and caves. The whites cannot do this unless they are wealthy and can afford to live elsewhere to make a living. So the remaining ranches and hay farms struggle to make a living. Only the larger town of Enterprise thrives, as it is the primary center for business in a vast area. Oddly enough, it is the very things that the presence of the white man has destroyed, the salmon and the presence of the native peoples here in this land, that will eventually save it. When the great dams on the mighty Snake River come down, the great salmon runs will resume, again, as nature comes into her own when man steps aside and allows her to heal. And by being allowed to hold ceremonies and to gather their traditional foods in selected areas, the native people are teaching the white authorities the value of subsistence living when done in a careful, thoughtful, sacred manner. The native people have not thrived on the American diet. Heart disease, diabetes, and alcoholism run rampant among the people of many tribes, yet healing is beginning to take place. The old traditions of sweat lodges, dreaming, and other ancient rituals are being revived. Balance will return and the land and its people will flourish, again, as they once did. There will come a time when the high mountain valleys will look quite different than they do today, but I will not be here to see it. Nor will Joseph. He has released his hold upon the lands of his father's bones and goes home with me. His people were descended from Pleiadian star seeds long ago and now have returned to the home of their star ancestors. So, I follow in the footsteps that they have imprinted across the stars, starting first with a reunion upon the White Winds, the huge Pleiadian mothership of Lord Adragan, Lord of the Pleiades. Dear ones, there is no ending or beginning, only the now. In the now moment, we stand together as brother and sister, united in the love and light that all starseeds bring to this planet. Go now in peace and discover what the new world holds for each of you. A new life is beginning for me, and if you look and feel carefully, you will discover that one, here, is opening up for each of those whom I leave behind. And some of you, who are first wavers like myself, will be following in waves of ascension over the next 1 to 2 years. You will know who you are when it is time. Release the need to know the details, the how, when, where, what, and learn to trust the process. I have come to realize how deeply I am loved by great and beautiful beings. It is so, with all of you here who read these words. Open your hearts and minds and you will discover this truth for yourselves. Namaste. I am Tazjima Amaria Kumara Vakup. www.bluedragonjournal.com